Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host. I'm welcoming you to our episode 51 in the American Business Podcast. Today we have a great guest, and I like to invite our guest today from Penji, and we can get the conversation started. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome
How
to
are
the
you?
podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity and excited to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for being with us in your busy schedule. How is your week going so far?
Well, it's going pretty well, I'd say. On a personal level, I did a lot of not construction in the house, but I had to do a lot of things to make the house look nice. And after like a year of everything, I finally got it done this week. And so this is the first week that I didn't work outside. With planting something or killing weeds in probably like 6 months. So I'm really excited.
That sounds good. Where does this podcast find you?
It's not a podcast.
Mhm.
That's just my life.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. All
That's
right,
my
sounds good.
house. Is my house. So where does
Okay,
it find me? Every day in my house, pretty much.
all right, that sounds good. Okay, well, uh, we have uh, we have a lot to cover. We can get the conversation started if that's okay.
Of course, always.
So yeah, truly appreciate it. Thank you for your time. So as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
Sure. First and foremost, when I first started this entrepreneurial career, I would always say that I'm the co-founder of Penji first, and I am. However, I'm actually a father. I am a husband, and then I am the co-founder of Penji. So Penji is a creative subscription service where if you have any issues or trouble hiring reliable creative talent, you can come to a service like Penji, and we'll be able to fill any of your creative needs from web design to social graphics of any sorts, and all at a flat rate monthly fee. We have customers all over the world in 80 different countries. We have designers and creatives in over 15 different countries. And I've never had a real job. This is the only thing I've ever done in my entire life. So excited to be here on the podcast. So I feel like that's a pretty good introduction of myself, right?
That's actually pretty good. Yes, I agree. That was good. Thank you. So, well, I'd like our audience to know more about you, if that's okay. So,
Of course.
um, how did you get started with your current career?
Yeah, so I used to work for a couple of companies like from a retail perspective, and was like really just drowned out and hated my life for a large majority of it. I started a digital marketing agency. Um, and I wasn't really good at digital marketing agencies. I wasn't really good at marketing or anything of that nature. But what happened was all of our customers always told us that our designs were really good. So what we did was we kind of figured out like what is the next iteration of this business. Digital marketing agencies can be very successful, but there's a cap, right? There's only so high that you can go when it comes to a digital marketing agency. It's really difficult to make money while you sleep, because a lot of times your digital marketing agency is dependent on like consulting and talking to clients and things like that. And so we wanted to make a business that allowed us the ability to have more impact in our society. And this is more or less what was the foundation of Penji. The problem that we were solving was large. Digital marketing agencies, they kind of serve and they kind of solve like local problems, and they serve business problems, but they don't serve global. It doesn't fix a global problem. So like,
Mhm.
sure, if I were to create a new logo for Apple, I'm helping Apple. Apple is still working their business and they're helping the universe of the world, but like my business is not doing that. And so we wanted to create a business that allowed us to the ability to help more people with an ongoing problem. And to me, one of the biggest problems in business is finding reliable talent. You have a lovely producer. It's ridiculously hard to find reliable people, right? It's ridiculously hard to be able to find creatives. And so when you find these people, they need to be integrated into your business. And I also want to create something that's affordable for people instead of thinking that they believe that they need to hire $100,000 employee. You can create all these things and do all these things at a fraction of the cost, and we're willing to foot the bill because we've created systems and processes and procedures to make it more affordable for people.
When you think about your day-to-day work, what are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
In the very beginning of the business, it was probably, how do you grow the business? How do you get sales? At this point, I think our marketing and things like that and our brand name is pretty, reputable, I hope. So now the day to day is like managing people. That's the hard part, is managing people, managing emotions, managing expectations, making sure people are rowing the boat at the exact same speed as you. That's really important because a lot of times people are not aligned with what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and you need people that understand what the vision is of the team and of the company. So right now, the hardest thing in my day to day, like, it's now 12 o'clock, 12:12 to be exact, on the East Coast. And I think I've been in calls pretty much every single day talking nonsense for already 3-4 hours. So that's my day every day, just talking to people and making sure that they're on the same page and rowing the boat at the exact same time and at the exact same speed.
Can you tell us about customer experience? Why it is a differentiator for organizations?
Um, so the customer experience is like the ethos of how you are perceived to the client. And so if you have a good onboarding experience, you can set the proper expectations, right? It's like, when you buy something of really high value, you want a curated experience that's only for you, right? Whether let's just say you buy it online, right? You buy a laptop online. You open the laptop, you should feel something. You should be excited. You should be enthusiastic. You should have an emotional reaction towards what, even a video game too, right? What does the box look like? What do the graphics look like on the video game, right? All of these things are equally as important. We're a digital service, right? So because we're a digital service, we don't have that ability to kind of, like, you're not opening something. You're not touching something with your hands. So we have to create something that adds that level of component of emotion, and also genuine curiosity into a service that allows people the ability to have that emotion. And so that's, for the past year specifically, I've been obsessed with the customer experience and developing the best possible customer experience in our industry.
I like to get your insights about AI. It's a popular subject.
Sure.
Every day something new is happening. We are learning from news. We are experiencing ourselves. So, how do you see the impact of AI in business in general, and how companies are adopting in your view?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not using AI, I think the CEO of NVIDIA said it best. Um, Jobs are, he said it yesterday or the day before. People are not going to lose their jobs due to AI. People are going to lose their jobs to people using AI. And that is the key, right?
Yes.
Our service could essentially be, you know, deleted, so to speak, from AI. You can get graphic design, right? But I think there's something inherently powerful, um, when it comes to having a team member that you can communicate with, right? I think there's something really powerful about making changes to projects and and sharing ideas, right? So regardless of how AI is, I don't think it's ever going to it's never going to get rid of the graphic design and the creative problem, because you still need somebody to edit it. So our designers and our creatives, they actually use AI every single day to help the client move ideas along, and also with their own ideas as a whole, to create versions of a graphic that a client needs. So it's not really like the brain is still needed. The human brain is still needed regardless. So I think,
Mhm.
to requote the I think it was the Nvidia CEO, he you're going to lose your job to people that are using AI, but I don't think you'll lose your job because of AI.
Yeah, that's a great point. And do you think will AI replace humans and jobs in the future in general?
No, I don't think so. I mean, some, but
Mhm.
like the ones that are not needed, you
Mhm.
know? Like realistically, you don't need someone to you don't need somebody at the counter to enter in your food bill, right? Like if you're going to like McDonald's or something like that, like you really don't need someone to do that. You do need somebody to make the food. I mean,
Mhm.
you can have a robot do that, but like I don't think that's necessary. I think you should have somebody, cooking and stuff like that. But like a job like that, not really necessary. Somebody to sift through all of the mail. I mean, like things like that shouldn't be a human being anyways. So like, there's things that inherently are going to be lost because of AI, but I think for the most part, it's going to be used as a tool and a vehicle, not like a job loss.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really exciting conversation, uh, and AI is really changing our
Do
lives,
you agree?
especially in business life. Well, the um, yeah, I mean, to your point, yeah, some jobs will be replaced. That's inevitable. That's
Yeah,
going to also create some jobs as well to support the entire system. That's how it looks in general. And yeah, I mean, uh, when we look at it, it's also an opportunity to design our entire lives, entire ecosystem with AI. Um, when you look at it from pessimistic point of view, there is going to be jobs that's going to be replaced. That's for sure too. So it's really like we are evolving. That's the time of evolution, and AI is really like in a way powering this evolution process. That's how it looks. When we look at um, even just ChatGPT gives you ideas. You can ask questions, but not everything is correct yet. At the
yeah,
same time, it's still learning, and that learning capabilities you can correct it, and it's correcting itself, and the next time it's correcting the right information based on your feedback. Hopefully, it's correct, of course. Then it keeps making itself better. So this learning process is what makes it really unique. That's how it looks like it.
100%.
And also this is an opportunity to your point also. Yes, I mean we better learn how to work with AI. So
Yeah,
I think these are the times that we need to adopt as a professional. Same for the businesses. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, we had a guest, and he mentioned that now companies are having AI agents, AI employees listed in
yep,
their organizational charts. So
yep,
there are, sales departments, marketing departments, managers, directors, and so on. There are human employees and there are AI employees now getting into
yep,
the organizational charts. So times
yep.
are changing in that sense. So it requires adaptation.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I mean, AI agents are definitely going to be really fun to explore. And I'm personally really excited to be able to see what that looks like and how that turns into. I mean, yeah, why not, right? Like, why shouldn't we have AI agents?
Mhm,
But I still think that like the customer experience is really important, right? Like,
mhm,
if you can automate as much as possible, you should. But I think you should, in my opinion, you should
mhm,
have a specific part of the job and of the customer experience that is not AI and that is 100% human based. So whatever that looks like to your business, right? Like if you're this isn't a tech, this doesn't need to be a tech podcast. This is a global entrepreneurial business podcast, right? So there are landscapers that are out here right now that are listening. There are
mhm,
um construction workers that are listening to this show. So
mhm,
you have to find a way to automate as much as you can to reduce costs, but you should always find a way to make it as real as possible.
mhm. Yeah, I think where it is going is that we're gonna have the AI powered services and human powered services, and
Yeah,
it will be advertised, it will be promoted. Hey, we have the human
100%.
power services in some cases, in some businesses. So that's, I think, where it is going: human powered versus AI powered, or together. Depends on the case, depends on the need and the, yeah, and the customer experience. To your point.
I agree.
Um, well, in your career journey, have you had any role models that you can share with us?
Yeah, really good question. The short answer is honestly no. I've been thoroughly disappointed by every role model that in the business world specifically that I've always had. Um, I've always been let down, and that's a shame. And what I realize is that a lot of people, although are nice, we as human beings are inherently selfish. Um, and from my experience specifically, that's been what I've achieved. Now, on my personal life, that's a different story. Role models in particular, like my father-in-law is a huge role model of mine, and my own father to a degree as well, especially as a father myself, looking towards other people to be able to be a better man. I think that is my core, because if you are a better human, I think that will proceed. That will then move forth in your business career. Because if you're just a crappy human being, then I don't think you're going to be successful in life. I really don't. I don't think you'll have a successful business. I don't think you'll be successful at all. But if you are, a kind, it could be stern. But if you're just a good person, I think, that will take you very far in life.
Mhm. Um, yeah, we have thousands of listeners on YouTube, and most of them are business professionals in different levels of their careers and career journeys. Are there any career lessons that you had in your career journey that you can share with us?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest one is probably just don't give up, right? And I know that's like super basic, but I think if I look back at my career, there's two things that have allowed Penji to be successful. Number one, the problem that we're solving is so large that it's worth getting up every morning. A lot of times, startup businesses and things like that, they have this idea of a business, of what they want their business to do, but then they stop because they don't want to solve that problem anymore, right? Or the problem that they originally thought wasn't as large as you may think. If you can be inspired and motivated every single day that you wake up to be able to solve that one problem, I think you'll go very far in life. So that's like case in point number one. And then if you have that problem that you're willing to solve, then the second one is, don't quit, right? Like this journey of business, I think, Kevin, you could probably agree to this, is very dark and lonely and stressful.
Yes.
Um, and I think, if you just know that the problem that you're solving, you're not gonna is worth it, you're not gonna quit, right? Like if your goal for the American Business Podcast is to meet 10 million people, right? Then you're gonna wake up every single day because you're only at 51, right?
Hmm.
So, and you know that the goal is, if you meet 10 million people, then you'll be a very, I don't know, wealthy, you'll be a very rich man by doing that. So whatever the goal is, you have to make sure that it's attainable, right? But also at the same time, it has to be fun, and it has to be worth getting up every morning to solve it. So I'd say that's my that's my career advice.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that sounds great. Um, what are your biggest passions outside of work? Do you have any interests?
Yeah, I love physical fitness and working out. I used to live in the city, and I loved working. I loved living in the city. It was like one of my favorite things. And I used to tell everybody, like, "Oh my god, you have to live in a big city. You have to live in a big city." And then I grew up, and I hate the city. And I live in the suburbs right now, and I love it. And so I have a garden, and I think my biggest passions and interests outside of this is hanging out with my wife, um, work, getting my hands dirty, because I'm behind a computer every day. Do you know how boring that is?
True, for most
Like
of us. Yeah, absolutely.
it sucks. It sucks being behind a computer. I mean, it pays the bills, right? But like, would you rather be behind a computer for 45 hours a day in an office, or would you rather be like on a boat, like, I don't know, sipping a pina colada? Or like, I'd rather be
Yes.
touching dirt, right? Feeling the wind. Um, so that's there needs to be a balance. Like, you work really hard, and then you enjoy life as well.
How do you stay motivated and inspired? Because you just mentioned earlier in our conversation that it can be challenging, it can be stressful. Naturally, it's part of business, of course. At the same time, these are the realities, of course, we have to face. How do you stay motivated and inspired, especially daily basis?
Yeah. I'd say, I mean, outside of the obvious of what I said, which was the problem, I really think, like, I go back to that same thing, is like the big problem is the key, right? Like, that's the crux of everything. You have to have a large problem. I mean, outside of that, I'd say is my family. Um, my whole life, I grew up, I wouldn't say poor, but I wasn't rich, and my parents weren't wealthy. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad was a truck driver. So, like, they made do, but they weren't rich and wealthy. And every time I would go outside, I would want to buy something. My mom would always say, like, "Oh, it's too expensive." I don't want to live that life anymore. I don't want to live. I don't want to go to I have a 9-month-old daughter. I don't want to go to a store and tell her, "No, we can't afford that, sweetie." Now, I could say no to not buy it, right? Like, I don't want her to have like a billion toys, cuz that's not cool. But, like, I want to be able to say, if I want to give this to her, I can buy it. Now, mind you, she doesn't really have any toys. So, like, so she only has like the essential toys, if that makes sense. But, like, like, I don't want to be like a Toys R Us in my house. I want to be able to say, like, "Oh, you can buy that." I'm not
Mhm.
going to buy it, but we could buy it if I wanted to.
So one of the questions in my mind, I'm really curious about your response is, if you have the ability, if you are to be able to go to timeline all the way back in the history, where would you like to go? What timeline would you go, and why?
Um, I have uh I have a couple thoughts in that. First and foremost, I'd say I don't think I would go back at time anytime, right? Because I think all the mistakes I made were worth it, and it led me to this exact moment right here. So that's number one. But if I were to not give you a cheap answer and actually go back, I'd say, maybe I'd say probably 3 or 4 years ago, I should have trusted myself a little bit more about a decision that I made. And I should have stood up for what I believed in heavily at that moment, because I think it would have got us closer to the goal faster. And I don't think in a couple years ago, without going into too much detail,
Mhm.
I think I would have been more stern, and I would have trusted myself more in the
Mhm.
decision making process that led me down I say probably like a year's worth of recovery, because I didn't make the right decision. Sorry,
Understood.
that's vague. It's kind of a cheap answer, but
That's
that's like
okay. I
the
mean,
answer to the real question is like 20 more minutes, you know?
yes. Well, this is something that we got from our audience. They were asking me to ask to our guests, and then I start being curious as well, getting because I we start asking it like we started today actually. So we start asking it today, and we start getting really interesting answers. I mean, some personal. to your point, some just in general, like just curious about history or the times that in the past. So we are
Yeah.
getting interesting answers. So we are really enjoying these
Yeah. I
responses.
mean,
So truly
man,
appreciate. Yeah.
to go with like back in history, man, like I would love to be able to be I would love to be able to be in like a boardroom meeting in like the early 1920s when like in the Great Depression
Yes.
areas of like, I would love to be able to I would love to be able to see how people did business back in the day, you know? Like if
Yes.
you really think about it back years and years and years ago,
Mhm.
centuries ago, we traded goods, services and goods for things.
We
So
did.
like
Yes.
that'd be awesome if we could do that, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't everything is money driven, unfortunately. And like we've become so just gross, a gross society, I'd say, when everything is dependent on money. But if we can go back to a time where things are based on trade, like that'd be
Mhm.
so much fun. I would love to live in a world like that.
Yes. And imagine no computers, no laptop,
Yeah,
no internet, no AI.
nothing, nothing.
So
And I would
complete
love
different
to get rid
experience.
of AI, to be honest with you. I think AI is great, but like, and I love it, but like, I would love to get rid of it just because it's another thing, you know?
Mhm.
It's another thing that we need. We don't need more things. We need less things. But it's a necessary part of life and it's a necessary part of development and everything else like that. And it is necessary to have, but yeah, I'd love to be able to live in a world where we're communicating more like we are right now, and we're doing business with people that we enjoy doing business with.
Yes, and it'll get more and more precious the more AI and technology coming into our world, having these discussions even face to face
Yeah,
or yes.
stories will never die, regardless of AI. It'll never die. It'll be preserved, but it'll never die.
We have a lot of business professionals, and one of the important missions of our podcast is to share educational content. And
Yeah,
for those who just graduated or for those who are in the midst of choosing their career, would you like to share some career advice with them? Could,
absolutely.
yeah, if you can share that, that'd be great.
S- Um, so I think today's generation, I think people are lazy as hell. Um, Lazy as heck. Sorry, people today. I'll repeat it so you can clip it without the curse. People
Will
today
do.
are extremely lazy. They're lazy as heck, and I think if you want to succeed, social media has told you that you deserve a $100,000 a year salary. That's been the arbitrary social media salary for most people. And I think that is, although great, if you're just starting out, it's very hard to obtain that. And if you believe that you are deserve that, then you need to be able to prove that you shouldn't just be given it. Send 100 messages to a potential job. To get, if you want a job, send 100 messages to potential employers and see what happens and the type of person that you become when you get rejected. I think we as a society, both young and old, need to feel rejection more. And we need to be able to experience that hurt. And I think if you're able to send 100 or 500 or 1,000 messages and get rejected 99% of the time, there's going to be that one that's not going to reject you. And that's going to be either a great job or an incredible relationship, regardless of what it is. And so my advice is that send 100 messages to prospective employers, send 500, send 1,000, and see the type of person that you become after that. Because I guarantee you will be a different person when people tell you to F off or tell you no. Hearing no is great and it builds character, and it'll really make you a better person by hearing that.
Jonathan, thank you very much. Well, before we end our episode, for those who like to continue this conversation with you, or for those who like to learn more about Penji, what is the best way for them to learn? and connect.
Yeah, if you resonate strongly with what I'm saying and you want to contact me, I'll give you my personal email. It's Jonathan JOHNATHAN at penji.co. If you like anything that I said today, you can head over to Penji's website, penji.co, for any of your creative needs.
Jonathan, thank you very much for this conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. And thanks for being with us in your busy schedule.
Thanks, Kevin. It means a lot.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
To our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. In each episode, we have these informative environment, and we learn from different business professionals and executives. Today, we learn from Jonathan Gryzkowski from Penji, and it was actually very informative for us, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Would you like to be a guest in our podcast, or you know someone who likes to be a guest? You can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We also welcome emails for advertising and sponsorship opportunities. You can also send us an email. We are very responsive. Whenever you send us an email, we'll reply very quickly and we start the conversation going. So feel free to get in touch with us. We also welcome any feedback from us. What do you think about our podcast? Do you have any subjects that you like us to cover? You can also send us an email and we'll be in touch with you. If you also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, you can also see our coming schedule of our podcast sessions, who is going to be our guest and the subject we will be covering. You can see it. Also, you can learn more about our business podcast as well, about our team, about our mission and other activities that we put together. Well, we are celebrating 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel. We also have the QR code right here. You can scan and you can go to our YouTube channel and you can be a subscriber. You can share, like, and also invite your contacts as well. We truly appreciate your support. This is our first 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I know and I believe that we're going to get many more with your support. Every week, we bring you education and informative business podcast. We bring you different executives and professionals, and we'll create this informative environment. That is our core differentiating point, and we truly appreciate your support. Let's see what else is happening. We also have sponsors. We have iTech Consulting. If you are in the market for SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Business Central implementation services, iTech is a great choice. It's a reliable company. They've been doing implementation of SAP ERP software systems for decades. So you can get in touch with them. We have the QR code on the screen. You can scan and you can go to their website and you can stay in touch with them, and hopefully you'll work with them. On August 22nd, we have a networking event that is called the Connection America Business Alliance Business Networking Event. It's going to be live on the American Business Podcast. There is a QR code that you can scan and you can register. We'll only have 10 professionals, one professional from each profession. You can join us for this networking event. You can meet with other business professionals, and it's going to be a live event. So you'll be seen, and you'll be also able to our audience as well. We have more than 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and that'll also give you the option to introduce your product, your service, and as well as your organization to the American Business Podcast audience. If you're in the market for VPN service, we are using IPVanish VPN. It's a solid system. You can scan this QR code, go to their website, learn more about the system. And if you need a VPN software system, you can consider subscribing as well. And we have a new YouTube channel, new podcast, Two Guys, All Things Tech. We just released our episode 1. You can scan this QR code to go to our YouTube channel. I'm a founder, co-host of this podcast with my good friend Anthony Lucidi. And this is an opinionated podcast, so we have different discussions going on. We started with the AI, whether or not regulate AI, and you can go to our YouTube channel and you can learn about what we are thinking, whether or not regulating the AI in general. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest. I'm looking forward to having you in the coming The American Business Podcast episodes. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.